Class is starting with my favorite thing, find errors if any. So in total, there are 8 sentences on your screen which we need to read, and then we need to understand them, and then finally we need to find errors in them. So the 8 sentences here are: she is junior than me. He is superior than us in all respects. She is junior and more courageous than me. I have a pretty small pink round shape. The blind has sticks with them. The aged is living in old age homes. Blessed is the meek. Ram was senior to Sam in college. Okay, so there are 8 sentences and we just need to find errors in them. So the very first thing which I need you to learn today is that we all know. Let me select. Yes, fine, pretty fine now. Okay, so the very first thing which I want you to understand is that there are we already know that in comparative degree, adjectives take the preposition then. We already know this thing that in comparative degree, adjectives use the preposition, right? Now, what I'm saying is which you need to understand. There are certain words, there are certain adjectives which do not take the preposition then with them. And what they take preposition to with them. There are certain adjectives that do not take preposition then with them. Instead, they take preposition to with them. One thing. Now, the such adjectives is that these adjectives basically ends with IOR. So the words are junior, senior, superior, anterior, prior, and there are some more words: inferior, posterior, superior, inferior, prior, anterior, posterior, junior, and senior. So you just need to understand one thing, that all the words are getting ended with IOR. So these adjectives do not take the preposition then with them, and instead they take preposition to with them, right? So one thing is that, okay. First find out the subjects which involve this rule in them: junior, superior, junior, and senior. So if I talk about junior, or if I talk about senior or superior, all the words are getting ended with IOR, right? And as I told you, the words that ends with IOR always take preposition to with the not then, and not then. Okay, she is junior is wrong. She is junior to me. He is superior than us in all respect. Again, the sentence is wrong. The correct sentence is he is superior to us in all respect. She is junior and more. Okay, so we just left over the sentence for a while. Let us consider the sentence number 8. Ram was senior to Sam in college. The sentence is perfectly correct. Why? Because the word is getting ended with IOR and the preposition is to. So it is correct, right? So the correct sentences are: she is junior to me. He is superior to us in all respect. Ram was senior to Sam in college. Now, let us consider the sentence 3. The main thing which you need to remember here is, if there are two adjectives being used for a single noun, what I am to and it very carefully, very meticulously. if there are two adjectives and if the two adjectives are being used for a single subject, then what happens in that case? If the adjective needs a separate preposition, if the two adjectives which are being used for a single noun, if both of the adjectives need a separate preposition for themselves, then in that case we need to write a different preposition. Are you people getting my point? Are you just understanding what I'm saying here? Are you getting it? I am saying if there are two adjectives which are being used for a single noun, and if both the adjectives need a separate preposition with them, then we need to write a different preposition for each of the adjective. Now, coming to the sentence number 3, she is junior and more courageous than me. We very well know we are comparing two persons here. We are comparing two persons here. One is she and the another one is me. If you people remember, I told you one rule, very basic rule when we were reading pronoun. I told you that when we compare, we can only compare a subject to subject and an object to an object. Now, we all know subject, but me is what? Object. So this is wrong I here. Now, right? Now, more courageous. It is not getting end with the IOR. So then preposition will be appropriate here. Now, junior is ending with IOR. So for the word particular junior, we need two prepositions. So the correct sentence is she is junior and more courageous than I. She is junior too. With them, the aged is living in old. Blessed is the meek. Now, you people need to understand that when the set becomes common noun, whenever we add the with adjective, then it becomes plural common noun. And again, we do understand this thing that plural common nouns always take plural verb with them. When you are adding the with an adjective, it becomes plural common noun always take plural verb with them. Right now, blind is what? Blind is the same thing is happening in the next sentence. Aged is what? Adjective. We have added the preposition the before adjective. Now the aged becomes plural common noun again. Plural common noun in turn takes plural verb. So the correct sentence is the aged are living in old age homes. Right. Now this sentence is in opposite structure. Like the meek is the subject here, is the verb here, and the complement here. Right. So if I talk about blessed is the meek, the article, the plus meek is the adjective, the plus adjective is plural common noun. Plural common noun always take plural verb with them, and so the correct sentence is the meek are blessed. The meek are blessed. So the blind have the sticks with them. The aged are living in old age. Blessed are the meek. These are the three correct sentences, right? Now let us consider the fourth. If there are many adjectives, in that case, there is a order. There is an order which must be followed in writing those adjectives. Just listen to me very, very carefully and try to understand it. I am saying if there are many adjectives, you can say for a single noun or pronoun, right? Uh, for example, I am writing, the order is ossa, com. You just need to remember the words, okay? Wait. In the same order, ossa, com. So O stands for opinion. Anyone's opinion is personal. It generally happens that maybe I found the particular thing very pretty and you found the particular thing very ugly. So the same thing is pretty to me and ugly to you. So this is your personal opinion towards that thing. After that comes the size. After that comes age. After that comes shape. After it includes color. After that comes the origin. After material is considered. After that, purpose. Right. So if there are more than one adjectives which are being used for a single sentence, then this order should be followed. First, you need to write the adjective which is showing opinion like pretty, beautiful, hardworking, ugly, careful, right? Then you need to write about the adjective which is representing size, like something is small, something is tiny, something is big, large, enormous, diminutive, so like that size. Then, right, then the next adjective will represent shape, like some things are circular, some things are rectangular, square in shape. Then you need to write another adjective which represents color, like dark pink, blue, turquoise, any color. Then you would write about the origin, like either the Mexican or it is Chinese or it is American. Then you need to mention the material, like if it is diamond or if it is coal, if it is rubber or glass, anything. Then you need to mention the purpose of that thing, that why that particular thing exists. Like it is not necessary that all kinds of adjectives are being used in a sentence for a single noun. It is not necessary. Sometimes there are just three adjectives, or sometimes just there are four adjectives. But whenever writing, you just need to take care of this order. If only opinions, shape, and material is being discussed in the subject, then you need to remember you need always to write opinion first. Hmm. Right? Okay. Now let us consider the sentence number. I have pretty. Pretty is of course my personal opinion. Maybe I found it pretty, and for you it is ugly. Opinion. Small. This is shape. Sorry, size. Pink. It is color. Round shape is shape. It is max origin. And ruby is what? Material. So if I talk about the order, then the order which is given to us is first is opinion, then is the size, then comes the color, then comes the shape, then comes the origin, and then finally we are talking about the material. Is that pretty clear to you now? Our rule is we need to follow OSA form. So it is very clear that you need to mention shape first, then afterwards you can mention color. But if I talk about the sentence, color is mentioned earlier than shape, so it should be replaced. The correct sentence would be I have a round shaped pink margin ruby material. So the correct answer is I have a pretty small round shaped pink Mexican ruby. I hope all the sentences are clear to you. Now let us consider the next slide. Okay, as I told you earlier, there are certain adjectives with which to is used and not then. Superior, inferior, posterior, junior, senior. She is junior than me, wrong. She is junior to me, right. She is, if different words are needed with different adjectives, or in better sense, you can say if different prepositions are needed for different objectives, suitable words are used with each of them. She is junior to and more courageous than me. She is as beautiful as, if not more than, her mother. 13, rule number 13. If there are different types of it present in a single sentence, then the order of adjective should be osascomp, as I told you. Opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose. I have a pretty small round shaped pink Mexican ruby. Now, pretty is your, yeah, this rule says what? Whom's blessed are the meek. First, let me discuss about little, a little. Okay. Now, you need to understand the word little can be used in three ways in English. One is little, another one is a little, and the next one is the little. Little can be used in English in three ways: little, a little, and the little. Now, let us try to understand what is the basic difference between these three words and how we are going to use them in English, right? No, so one thing which you need to make sure is little is an adjective which shows quantity. Little is an adjective which shows quantity, and we can count, we can number countable nouns, and we can quantity for uncountable nouns. We will consider quantity of uncountable nouns. Is it clear now? So which means we can only use little equivalent to 0. Little is of course negative word. Little does not mean something very small. Little means almost nothing, equivalent to 0. Some but not much. If I say few, if I say there are few students in the class, that means there is no student in the job. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Okay. So if you have understand one thing very carefully. Many is also can be used table noun. That's why it came in the meaning of a few. And much can only be used for in earlier classes that there are certain adjectives which can be used for countable nouns as well nouns to show number with uncountable nouns to show quantity. Okay, she has some juice, I have some colleagues. Now, one word is some, one word is any. Expecting, when we are just basically expecting the answer in yes. Do you have something to eat? That means I am expecting that you would say, yes, I do have. Or if I ask, do you have some stationery with you? That means I'm expecting you would say that I do have. Getting my point. Stationary is also uncountable now. So some is used in interrogative sentences where we are expecting the answer in yes. Now, if I say, okay, the second thing is we use any also in interrogative sentences. But in those sentences where we expect the answer in no. Do you have any new shirts? No, I don't. Do you have any? Do you have any pulpy oranges? No, I do not have any pulpy oranges. Getting my point. So when you yourself are expecting the answer from the second side to be yes, then you use some in such into interrogative sentences. When you yourself are expecting the answer from the other side in no, then you are going to use any in such sentence, right? Any is used in negative sentences. She does not have any oranges. Have you bought any mangoes? Some adjectives are given below. Accident, accidental. So these are the nouns. From these nouns, these adjectives have been derived. Length, long, danger, dangerous, intelligence, intelligent, offense, offensive. Okay, so my own. That means that you have listened to me very carefully, you have taken your notes properly, and you have understood very well. But if you are unable to correct these sentences, that means you are active in the class. Let us first read the questions. He reached airport on time, but Garima left for London few minutes earlier. You are not at all junior than her in terms of getting promotion. She is the most bravest girl I have seen. The two laborious. The brain drain problem explains that much students are migrating to developed countries for better job like a child. So 10 questions go ahead. For London 0 minutes earlier. No. Report on time, but Garima left for London a few minutes earlier. You are not at all junior than her in terms of getting permission. The adjective, the letter is much harder. Okay, I already told you. In case of comparative degree, last rows. Now, what happens is always take the with them, and if ordinary both the adjectives are present in a sentence, then you always and always need to write ordinal first, being followed by cardinal adjective. So, of the hall, but the chances of the exam, brain problem explains that younger than most of the professor of this college, and still you are behaving like a child. Senior is ends with IOR, and this weekend Mohan can speak no less than 5 languages. Most of the teenagers is 5 times bigger. I already told. Tiny is what? Shape, and then we can mention the color. So the correct sentence is the tiny gifted speak no less than 5. This is wrong. Instead, what you people need to write, I always prefer, always remember, with preferred, to T. So there is another word which you must need to add in your list of the words that ends with IOR. One thing we have that the words that end with IOR always take preposition to with them and not then with them. And in that add another word which is prefer. This word also takes preposition to with it. Coffee is always preferred to tea. Or I always prefer reading than playing games as I am a bookworm. Is used with uncountable